Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another instant deck tech. So today we got another retro modern deck. This is Fiery Zoo. It took a Magic Online user, a Doogie H, to a 5-0 finish in a Magic Online daily event. Of course, this was a year or two ago, but still, this deck is completely legal, ready to be played in Modern. So if this is the one you want us to try out next week, make sure to let me know by liking, commenting, and subscribing to the video, because whichever deck is most popular gets a chance at being made into videos next week. So Fiery Zoo is pretty unique. It is essentially a big zoo deck. A lot of the zoo decks you see now are playing 8, 12, even more 1-drops and just trying to be super low to the ground. Fiery Zoo is looking to go a bit bigger, getting up to 3 drops, some 4-drop Planeswalkers, but the thing that sets this deck apart is Kavu Predator. So Kavu Predator, a 2-mana 2/2 with trample, not that exciting, but whenever an opponent gains life, you get to put that many +1/+1 counters on it. So combo number 1 with Kavu Predator is Grover the Burn Willows. A powerful dual land, enters the battlefield untapped, but whenever you tap it for green or red mana, it makes your opponent gain a life. Normally, that's kind of weird in an aggro deck. You are trying to get your opponent to 0, so you don't really want them gaining life. But with a Kavu Predator, every time you tap your Grove for mana, not only is your opponent gaining life, but you're growing your Kavu Predator. So it's a 2/2, then it's a 3/3, then it's a 4/4, and of course it has trample. Fiery Justice, though, is the real big payoff. It's this really odd removal spell, 5 damage, divided however you want among creatures or players, but your opponent gains 5 life. So you don't really come out that far ahead. It's sometimes okay in controlling matchups. You wrath your opponent's board, they gain 5 life, whatever. It's only 3 mana, so it's really efficient for what it does. However, if you do this with a Kavu Predator on the battlefield, you get 5 +1/+1 counters, so you can turn 2 Kavu Predator, turn 3 Fiery Justice, attack with a 7/7 trampling Kavu Predator, while also wiping away your opponent's board with Fiery Justice. The rest of the deck is kinda a straightforward big zoo deck. You got Birds of Paradise and Noble Hierarch, helps you cast your stuff faster, Exalted triggers are relevant from the Noble Hierarch. Tarmogoyf, just a super efficient 2-drop beater. Scavenging Ooze also grows itself, deals with graveyards, gains you some life. Qasali Pride Mage hits artifact or enchantments, more exalted triggers, so your creatures get a lot of exalted triggers, which is nice with the big trampling Kavu Predator. Maybe it's not super huge from the life gain, but getting 2 or 3 exalted triggers makes it a really big attacker. Plus, having exalted triggers lets your Tarmogoyfs attack by opposing Tarmogoyfs. And then you get Knight of the Reliquary, also grows really big, lets you tutor up some interesting lands. And then there's a bit of removal. Lightning Bolt does double duty, can get a creature, or drain away some of your opponent's life. Path to Exile gets rid of basically any creature in the format. And then we got some big finishers. Ajani Vengeant, just a super powerful 4-drop Planeswalker, has a Lightning Helix as the -2, can also keep something tapped down with the plus ability, and if you ever ultimate, you pretty much Armageddon away all your opponent's lands. And then Chandra Pyromancer generates some card advantage with the 0 ability, can ping away opposing creatures, small ones with the +1, and the not blocking ability is also pretty relevant as well if your opponent can put up some defense. As far as the mana base, it got some good tutor targets to search up with the Knight of the Reliquary. Arena takes advantage of the fact that the deck can make some pretty big creatures with the Kavu Predator, Knight of the Reliquary, even Tarmogoyf. Basically lets one of your creatures fight against an opposing creature that your opponent chooses, but it's a way you can kind of mow down your opponent's board. Horizon Canopy can search up to draw an extra card. Kessig Wolfrun gives your Knights of the Reliquary trample, your Tarmogoyfs trample, and then a Ghost Quarter to deal with opposing lands. Then some fetch lands, some shock lands, and some basic lands, so pretty straightforward for the rest of the mana base. In the sideboard, you get some life gain to help against aggro decks, Batterskull and Kitchen Finks. And then we have some cards for more controlling matchups. Thrun, amazing in control matchups because it can't be countered, has hexproof, so you can't really kill it. Molten Rain can deal with Celestial Colonnades, lands out of Tron, Eldrazi Temples. Then we got some hate cards. Choke, for island decks, keeps the islands from untapping. Stony Silence to shut down artifacts from Affinity and Tron. Grafdigger's Cage, very good against Dredge and other graveyard-based strategies. And Bazooka Bog, you can search up with your Knight of the Reliquary, just exile the graveyard once and for all. And last but not least, we got a couple of rule laws to deal with some Stormy type decks. Anyway, that is Fiery Zoo for Modern. That's been our instant deck tech for today. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you soon.